All right, you ready?
I've been ready.
Oh, don't give me any.
Hurry up. We're wasting people's time.
Hi there. Thanks for diving into Two Peas, Same Pod, the humorous podcast of family unity that proves we're all in this comedic roller coaster of life together. Here are your hosts, the father and daughter duo, Eric and Tovah Weinstein.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Two Peas.
Same pod. Woohoo! Guess what today is?
What is today?
It's the first of the month.
Which month?
December.
Of?
2023.
Okay. I'm Eric Weinstein.
I'm Tovah Weinstein.
And we're a father-daughter podcast. If you've tuned in before, you've heard a little bit of our banter. And now we're back for more banter.
We're back for our banter, but I need some more caffeine before we start this. I've been doing this new thing with my coffee.
What is this new thing with your coffee?
Thanks for asking. Not like you had much of a choice. I do this thing where I put a banana and I put a scoop of PB2 and then I fill the cup with ice and then I fill it with coffee and I blend it all up for a little coffee smoothie in the morning.
Give me the recipe again, please.
Oh my God. So a scoop of PB2 powder.
Explain for the audience what that is.
PB2 powder is like a protein peanut butter that we enjoy as a delicacy in our house. My mom's allergic to peanut butter or peanuts, so we get the almond butter version of that for her. But so I put a scoop of that in a little blender cup, fill it with ice, throw a banana in there, and fill the rest with coffee and blend it up for a breakfast banana smoothie concoction.
Okay, but where are you getting the coffee? Because you don't drink the coffee I brew at home.
No, I get the Starbucks jug, but I'm only using like enough to fill up the rest of the cup. So I'm decreasing my caffeine consumption, so I'm feeling a little sleepy all the time.
But why did you decide to reduce your caffeine consumption?
I didn't think I should try and reduce it. I just wanted a nice, fun coffee smoothie in the morning. Try and switch it up, you know? Kind of sick of the morning Joe.
I don't know. I've been drinking the same coffee. So from Labor Day in September until Memorial Day, roughly, give or take a week or two, I am on hot coffee that I brew each morning at home.
Okay.
I use Atomic coffee.
But it hasn't always been like that.
No. Just since the pandemic, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before the pandemic, what?
Before the pandemic, I can't even do the math. I was spending so much money at Starbucks.
Oh, my God.
Every single day on the way to work, stop at Starbucks. Sometimes I'd sit and have coffee with people because I'd see some people.
Coffee with the bitches.
No.
We can get into that a little later.
We'll get into that some other time, but that did not occur during the work week. That was coffee with Judy and Laurie and occasionally appearances by other people.
The listeners don't know who those people are.
They don't have to, but they'll get...
Some do.
Yeah, some of the listeners are those people.
Shout out.
So we'll talk about that some other time, but for years, from like maybe 1998, because the Starbucks at Prospect Street and Route 9 was directly across from my old office.
Yes.
From 1998 until 2013, there was a Starbucks directly across the street from my office. So every morning, I'd pull in, grab my coffee, go across the street to my office. Pandemic hits. Well, we moved, I should say.
It wasn't always one cup a day.
No. Even in the early aughts, I would get a venti, which I think is 22 ounces maybe, at Starbucks, and I would pound that thing, and then in the afternoon, on my way back from grabbing lunch, I'd grab another one. So I was drinking like 40-something ounces a day of caffeinated coffee. I cut that back to 1 cup a day in the mid-aughts, like 2004, 2005, but I was still getting it at Starbucks every day. So, you know, the prices kept going up and up and up and up and up.
He didn't care.
No, I didn't really, but all of a sudden the pandemic hits, and you can't go to Starbucks because a lot of them were closed, including the ones we went to.
Yeah, but they made it work kind of later in the pandemic.
Later in the pandemic, but by then I'd gotten into the habit of making my own coffee.
They knew you by name, too. Like most of the people,
yeah,
all the employees who worked there.
It was like Cheers when I'd walk in. They'd all yell out my name, Eric.
And he had the gold card before anyone even knew you could get like the gold card from Starbucks. You have the physical gold card, right?
I still have one, yeah.
Yeah,
but
so
it was not that big a deal.
It was to me. Gold card.
Yeah, it's not that kind of gold card.
I know, but that was like, when did you get the gold card? Like 2000?
Oh, I don't know. As soon as they started issuing those things, I got one.
That was kind of fun.
Yeah, I earned a lot of points. At one point in time, I had so many points, but then the pandemic came and went, and a lot of my points went down the drain, and I couldn't use them. They were gone forever.
That was, I feel like, the beginning of like the digital wallet error that we have now gone into with like Apple Pay.
Yeah, maybe you might be right.
Starbucks was the first contender and all that.
I don't know, but Starbucks made it way too easy to reload your card too, because you could add your PayPal account to it. And so for a long time, I had my PayPal account linked to it.
Who uses PayPal?
Elon Musk used PayPal. He's the co-founder of PayPal.
Oh, okay.
So that's where he made his initial money.
Okay.
Literally in favor, by playing with other people's money.
Okay.
I got nothing else much more to say about that other than I make my own coffee now except one day a week, and that's Sunday morning when I go to Starbucks and I sit for 2 hours every Sunday from 9 to 11, and I have coffee with some friends of mine. And Tovah, you refer to these friends as?
Coffee with the bitches. And so there's 4 core members.
Yeah, I am one of them.
You're like the founding father.
I'm like the
going on.
Seinfeld of,
You would tune in to Coffee with the Bitches from the middle of the ocean.
I did.
Yeah, when we were on the cruise ship one time.
Yeah, because during the pandemic, we were using Zoom every Sunday morning to meet for coffee. And this is how committed I am to this. And my friends are too. Every Sunday morning we meet.
They're not as committed.
So every Sunday morning we meet. And during the pandemic, we met for a year and a half only on Zoom. And then we got back to meeting live outside. And then once it was safe to be inside again, we went back inside. But when we were on our cruise last winter, almost a year ago, I made a commitment to joining in on coffee from the middle of the ocean. We paid for Wi-Fi as part of our onboard package. And I was able to dial in. And believe it or not, the Wi-Fi on Princess Cruise Lines is quite excellent on the Princess ships. I don't know what it's like on Carnival, and I don't know what it's like on Holland America or P&O or Cunard.
Royal?
Which,
do you know?
No. Well, Royal wasn't great when we went on that one cruise in 2017 on Royal. But the Wi-Fi on Princess was excellent on that trip specifically. And I was able to dial in, and I did a Zoom call from the middle of the ocean, somewhere in the middle of the Caribbean. So not an ocean, but a sea. It was fun.
At least the Wi-Fi gave us a good start to the trip.
Oh, we did not have a great start to that trip once we reached Florida, now did we?
I don't think we did. So on the way down, everything, this is going on to the cruise. We hadn't gone on a family vacation in very long because of the pandemic. So we all decided that it was time that we go on the vacation. Everyone was stressed. Pandemic took a lot out of us. And so I forget what times our flights were when we got to Florida, but
we got there Friday night for dinner.
Yeah. So I would say we had a morning, afternoon flight. But so on the way there, they pulled my bag at TSA, but I had goldfish, I think. I had one of those pouches of goldfish, I think.
It wasn't a pouch of goldfish. It was the chocolate quinoa cookies that came in a Mylar packaging.
Oh, okay.
And so, going through TSA at Bustin, leaving, they pulled your bag aside. But when they saw that it was that bag, the guy's like, oh, yeah, this sets it off all the time. Here you go. Have a nice trip.
Sent me on my way.
Yeah. Before we go on, prior to departure, Tovah's mother and I.
And brother. You guys all emphasized. And I thought.
We all emphasized how important it would be to go through your carry-on and ensure that you were not carrying anything that might be considered, quote, unquote, contraband. And by contraband, I also mean something else that begins with the letter C that rhymes with cannabis. So for weeks and weeks and weeks leading up to our trip, we kept telling Tovah, check your bag, make sure your bag is clean. Because for those of you that don't know, recreational marijuana is legalized in Massachusetts. So there's a dispensary practically on every street corner. I am not a fan at all. But listen, liquor stores are illegal, dispensary is illegal. What am I going to do? So we kept telling Tovah, however, because we're going to be traveling in international water and because we're going to be flying, she cannot bring cannabis products with her. And she was totally okay with that.
I had no intention. I was with them. I was searching through my bags. I packed a bag at school. The carry-on bag that I was bringing into the trip was my backpack from school. We get to the cruise terminal, which is an airport terminal.
Yeah, so we got through TSA, we fly to Florida, we get to our hotel, spend the night in the hotel, and the next morning we grab our Uber over to the cruise port. That was a very difficult ride, even though we were staying about 2 miles from the cruise port.
Yeah.
The traffic was ridiculous.
Ubers in Florida, too. There are so many of them. but they just drive like really recklessly. I
Yeah,
feel
it was
like.
a little bit nuts, but in any event, we get to the cruise port, and Tovah and I are in front of Elaine and Josh.
Yeah, because my mom and brother have no urgency when it comes to anything, especially travel.
So she's a little bit behind us, and
Yes.
Josh is with her.
That's nice of Josh to like stay behind, but he also just like leisurely like does his thing. So me and my dad are in front, and you have to have like your medallions, which is like your
Pass.
pass to the whole cruise. And so we scan it, we go through TSA, and I think you could have water maybe.
Yep, you could have
So
water.
you like would pull that out or something, and my bag gets stopped, my backpack.
It's not TSA. It's Princess Cruise Line security, but they're using all the same equipment. They're using the stand-up X-ray machines. They're using the conveyor belt X-ray machines or whatever they use. Everything looks just like you're going through the airport again.
Yeah.
So they're taking their security pretty seriously. I assume they're looking for weapons mostly and drugs.
Well, yeah, so you would think. So my bag gets pulled, and I'm like, ugh, it's this quinoa thing again. Like, oh my God. But I had like some feeling, like not really, but like immediately when my bag got pulled, I was like, ugh, like what's going on? And so they will go through it, they pat it through, and then they rescan it.
Yeah, they scan it the second time, and it alarms again.
And it pointed specifically to my water bottle pouch on the side of a backpack. Anyway, so he's going through the side of the pocket, and he pulls out a water bottle, like a couple like crumpled up napkins. And I had just thrown the water bottle in there from the Delta Lounge because I was like I didn't buy one at the food court, so I just like put stuff in there like not knowing. So stuff was on top of it, and he pulls out this like iridescent grinder.
What was it made out of?
It was metal, but it was like chrome effect. It was cool. It was my I'm like, please, can we just throw that away? Like, I'm like white as a ghost. Like, I'm so anxious. Like, I'm shaking. I'm like, please, like, I'm so sorry. He's like, how did you travel with this over state lines? The sheriff at this point. Like, it's just me and the sheriff, and then my dad. And my mom and my brother are a little behind us. And he's like, how did you travel with this? Like, what's your name? Like, how old are you even? Like, what state? Like, is this even legal from the state that you're from? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I should take you to jail right now. Like, don't you know this is like, what?
It's illegal in Florida. It's not legalized here in Florida at all. I can throw you in jail while your family goes on vacation.
Yeah, like he was being very, very like harsh. And I just like literally was like white as a ghost.
Why don't you tell the audience how much marijuana was in the grinder?
None. Zero.
Exactly.
Nothing
that's
was
the
in there.
punchline.
It was an empty grinder, but the remnants of it, I guess he was like saying, whatever. Everything resolves itself. I'm like, I'm sorry. Just throw it away. Like, I don't care. And he was like, I'll let you go this one time. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And so we're going to get onto the ship. And then I just start like bawling my eyes out. After that interaction, like I was freaked out. He like really scared the crap out of me.
Scared straight, baby.
He was like literally like, what's stopping me from taking you like to jail right now? And then.
So hold on. So let me chime in here for a minute.
Yeah.
So this is before we're going into the actual check-in desk, but we're standing in front of all of the security. So anybody who's getting on the ship has to walk by us.
Has to.
And Tovah is entirely losing her mind. She is having an epic meltdown.
All the staff, I'm 22 years old, and all the staff members were like, oh my God, like, I'm so, like, are you okay? Like, thought I was like, I don't even know. But
and God knows what the other passengers thought was going on.
But so then we're standing at the check-in to literally like get onto the ship, and the cop walks past me again, and he said, what does he say?
Says something.
He was like, next time, like
no need to cry about this. Just be more careful next time.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
No, like be careful next time.
Like
really.
he had a pile on.
Yeah, and I just started crying even more, and then the guy who patted down my bag came up to me, and he was like, are you okay? Like, I'm so sorry. Did they give you like a slip for when you get back? You can like get it. And I was like, I don't even want it. Throw it away. It's cursed.
That's why the police officer was walking by us. He said he was going to throw it away in the evidence area. It was an epic meltdown.
He just like really like, we were all so excited to go on this cruise after the pandemic. Like, we needed a vacation. and that happens.
Yeah, that was a little ugly.
Yeah.
It was an ugly entrance, but as soon as we got on board, Tovah went and found a bar by herself.
Yeah. Did that?
Yeah, you did.
Right?
You just walked off. You're like,
Okay.
I need some time. And you had called Nick, I think. You would call
yeah.
And then you just went and found a bar. And
I think Caesar. That's my initial me and Caesar.
Your buddy Caesar.
My bartender Caesar.
Let's rewind a little bit because when you were crying hysterically after you get beat up by Boss Hogg, our older members, listeners will understand what that reference is.
I don't even know what that means.
It was from the Dukes of Hazzard. After you get beat down from the sheriff,
I was beat.
Rightfully so, maybe.
Physically.
No, you weren't physically beaten. I was standing right there for that. At one point in time, I had to play lawyer dad, not just dad. I had...
Yeah, that's kind of the first time I saw that.
Yeah, because then I started talking to the sheriff about how, the legality of it up in Massachusetts. And Josh did a little research while we were trying to console you, the inconsolable Tovah.
Yeah.
Josh is doing some research on his phone, and he finds out that in, I think, Broward County is the county we were in.
Yeah.
It's not illegal. Apparently, the counties in Florida can make their own determinations as to how they want to handle an ounce or less of marijuana, and it is a civil penalty of $100 fine.
Slap on the wrist? Okay.
Instead, this police officer, the sheriff, is like telling Tovah that he's going to throw her into do hard time while we're out on vacation having a good time. She's going to be busting rocks. Punchline is we had a good time. There were a couple of little moments on the ship like there are on every family vacation, especially where Oscar and Felix is sharing a room together. And you can all guess which one Tovah is out of that couple.
But it was actually fun when me and Josh went to the casino at night.
Oh, yeah, it was Tovah's first casino experience.
Mm-hmm. And I won big.
She won big. I think she won $50.
I love blackjack. I love it.
Tovah has blackjack skill. Good time. That was a nice vacation. Very low key. We didn't plan any excursions or anything. We just did
you know how good I am with that.
Yeah, Tovah loves.
I like to have a plan, and when I'm somewhere where there's a lot to do, I like to actually do activities. Whereas I know this was a beach vacation. Where were we going? It wasn't.
We went to Old San Juan.
Yeah,
which was nice, just walking around.
I didn't.
I know, but we walked up to that fort. We saw that beautiful scenery.
Oh yeah, that was pretty.
You don't like history?
I don't.
Then we went to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, so like beach.
Yeah, well, that's the time that you and Mom sat by that big pool for a while, and then you're like, why am I down here paying for food and drink? I can be on the ship for free.
Yeah.
So you went back on the
Unlimited.
ship. And then we went to Turks and Caicos, which was...
Oh, yeah. That was
that
nice.
beach was nice. The
Yeah,
sand was... I actually went into the water.
Yeah, and he's anti-beach.
Oh, the world's biggest litter box.
Oh, my God. What?
Yeah, it's like, please.
Yeah.
You saw all those dogs walking along the beach. You know what they're doing in that sand.
He is against beaches.
I grew up on Cape Cod.
Yes, he grew up on Cape Cod.
I've had enough beach.
So let's talk about our Thanksgiving. So our Thanksgiving we started eating at 7:45.
It wasn't 7:45.
It was 7:45.
It was no way 7:45. Mm-hmm. That was like 7 o'clock on the button. Most of our listeners are probably done, napping by then, but we were just warming up. We like to eat Thanksgiving dinner at dinner time. And that's early for us, actually.
Yeah, but they don't feed you appetizers.
What are you talking about? We had cheese before people came over. We had a cheese plate. Yeah, but that wasn't
in the plan. We had really moldy cheese from the back of our refrigerator.
It was blue cheese. That's what it was. Blue cheese.
Moldy blue cheese.
Yes, by definition, blue cheese is moldy.
But the night before Thanksgiving, I went out with my friends.
Oh, we don't need to get into the weeds on this one. Let's just say Tovah painted the town vomit. Sorry for the people who live on Scott Drive. Now, admittedly, Tovah is not a heavy drinker at home. This was a little bit unusual. Mm-hmm. I'm sure at college she lit it up. But,
we should get my roommates on for an episode. That would be hilarious.
No, I'm not. We need to get Janie.
Janie. Get Poopy Janie.
Yeah, well, I don't even want to know why we call her Poopy Janie.
But so the next day or the following weekend, I go... at my job, and I go and I reach for my debit card, and I couldn't find it. It wasn't in my wallet. I called the place that I was out before Thanksgiving, and I was like, do you have my debit card? It's red. It's Bank of America, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, no, sorry, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, let me just go cry, blah, blah, blah. And so I reported it lost, and I ordered a new one.
See, that is the nice thing about technology in this case, is that you can lock it on the app, because the last thing we need is somebody cleaning out Tovah's account.
Exactly.
That would just mean her mother and father would have to support her even more.
Woohoo! Actually, that wouldn't be such a bad thing.
Be a terrible thing.
Wouldn't be such a bad thing.
No, you're on your way out, baby.
No, that's what they've been saying for years.
No, we are. Your mom and I have a plan. We're not telling you about it.
A plan? What? What's his plan?
Maybe change the door locks and not give you the combination.
Okay, I'll stay out of the house. I'll go live with Josh.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure he'd love that.
So I lock my car to all that stuff, and then I go to leave. This was like an hour before I was supposed to leave, so I was like anxious about like where my car could be. So I was like, let me just lock it, order a new one. And I go to my car, and I look in the bag that I took that night, and my card's just in it. So I guess I jumped the gun a little bit, but
now she doesn't have a debit card.
Now I can't go to the dispensary. Like, I can't take money out. I can't.
What a shame.
Like, I can't go to the dispensary. I can't pay. I can't pay for anything in cash.
I'm just thinking that maybe your debit card has already come and your mother and I are hiding it.
No, I checked the mail today. It hadn't come before.
The mail comes around 2.
I'm surprised at how long it's honestly taking to get here.
Okay. Well.
Thanksgiving, the food was delicious. God bless my mom, Auntie Lisa. My dad had a little hand in it. We had a little turkey. We had salmon mainly. We had brisket. We had beef ribs.
The traditional Thanksgiving beef ribs.
Yes, and we had cornbread, banana bread, all that.
We did not have
stuff.
smallpox.
No smallpox. No squash. No Grammy squash.
Yeah, no mashed squash. Like, yeah, my mother.
Ruined. Thanksgiving's actually ruined. I forgot about that.
Yeah, nice. My mother does make a good squash.
Oh, I would say.
But instead of us mashing the squash this year, we just roasted it and threw it out in a bowl. That's what we like, during the year.
What about the time where it was Thanksgiving and Grammy just left the squash in the oven the whole?
Never even put out the squash.
I think until dessert.
Yeah, and all of a sudden she's like, oh my God, I forgot I had squash in the oven. Thankfully, it was in a container that was impervious to heat. But once when I was growing up, you know how she made a big salad and people put wet paper towels over the salad to keep it moist while it's in the refrigerator. Ultimately, she ended up shredding up the paper towel, and it got integrated into the salad when she served it.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know, you can ask her yourself about that. Or the time she dropped a big, giant pot filled with pea soup, so our entire kitchen was covered in pea soup.
What about the time that Aunt Michelle dropped the turkey out of our freezer and dented our floors?
Oh, I don't know if that was Aunt Michelle or that was June. I think it was June.
Who the hell is June?
From Next Generation.
A babysitter?
Yeah, she was babysitting for you back then.
I was not a good kid to babysit.
Tovah was a challenging child.
Still am.
Yes.
Still am. You know how we mentioned we didn't eat till 7:45? Appetizers were pretzels.
Okay, Tovah is totally underselling.
Pretzels.
Okay.
That's what was an appetizer, and I had to ask for the pretzels to be put out. I put the pretzels out. I did it.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay, so in addition to the pretzels that Tovah's claiming responsibility for, we had a beautiful vegetable display, crudité. We had multiple dips, hummuses, eggplant dip, roasted red pepper and eggplant dip, crackers.
You notice how all this stuff is made out of vegetables?
Yes, because vegetables are healthy, and since you're about to embark on a meal that is quite, meat heavy and probably fatty.
I needed pretzels.
So Tovah went and got pretzels and added them to the mix, which was totally fine. We decided not to go with the little mini Franks in a blanket or the other appetizers.
Yeah, we don't need those.
Okay, so your mother and I made a decision not to put those out there. But we had more than enough food out for people. And on the table were pickles and olives, other traditional...
The pickles you wouldn't let me eat.
I wouldn't let you eat in the days leading up to Thanksgiving because we bought them for Thanksgiving.
You told me no pickles for you again.
I told her, you keep your grubby little meat hooks off of those pickles.
And you know what I kept my grubby little meat hooks off? The fruit that they put kiwi in because I'm allergic to kiwi, so I couldn't eat any of the fruit.
I bought you separate containers of fruit.
No,
you're trying to mislead the audience.
No.
I bought you separate containers of fruit.
Of pineapple, cantaloupe, honeydew.
Yes.
Where were the strawberries?
I think we had a container of strawberries. It might have had a little mold on them.
Where were the blueberries?
There were blueberries in the fridge. You can't get around that.
Where was the mango?
Oh, mango schmango.
I love mango.
All right.
Let's get in.
Nobody needs to hear about our fruit selection. But I assure you, Tovah is not malnourished or was not underfed on Thanksgiving.
You can tell who the favorite child is, really. Just talk to my brother. I was so mad because last night my parents have like this Dancing with the Stars night, and it's usually it's usually when I'm at Nick's house, so I'm not usually home when they're watching it. But
even though you used to like it, we've talked about that in prior episodes.
Yes.
It's a fun show. It's my guilty pleasure. I don't watch The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, The Golden Bachelor. I don't watch Survivor.
He's getting trashed now.
Is he? Why? Because he's a crybaby? I see those commercials.
No,
he's always crying.
He's a crybaby, but something about when his wife died, he dated someone like right after, and I don't know. He said he had never dated someone after his wife. I don't know. I don't.
So he's a fraud?
I don't.
You're telling me that reality TV is not real? Come on. So we don't watch any of this other junk. We don't watch the Great
Family Feud?
Well, we watch that junk occasionally. So last night, we were a couple of days behind. We DVR it, but we hadn't seen the results. So we were, it was still fresh for us. Tovah did blow it, although you blew it wrong because you weren't, what you said was wrong.
No.
Ariana.
On her second dance?
A second dance, yeah. But not
I tried to spoil it.
Yeah, Sochi had perfect
on
both dances.
Good.
She's fantastic.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I never saw her, but she's fantastic.
She's good in that.
I enjoy watching her. I think she's got some real talent.
Every time I breathe, though, when they watch it, they just have to pause it and get mad at me for talking and breathing.
I'm sorry. May I offer you a giant cup of shut the hell up? Because let's just say Tovah never stops talking. In fact, when you left the room last night, you said, I can't stop talking. So I have to go.
I can't stop talking because that show, there's just so much going on.
But you weren't talking about what was on the show. I was
talking about Harry.
Harry's not on the show. Harry's off. Thank God. That kid was a stiff.
Hey.
He seems like a nice enough guy.
I don't know about that.
Oh, what do you know? Is there internet stuff about him?
Oh, he is all over the internet. That's a different conversation for a different day.
Okay.
You look surprised.
I am surprised. He seems like a nice guy. Let's wrap up with one last segment here. What do we got?
Should we talk about how there's a lack of drive-through fast food places? Like a lack of healthy fast food drive-through places.
I think by definition, fast food is unhealthy.
Fast food means like prepared fast.
Yeah, quick serve.
Fried food.
Unfortunately, I think when people say fast food, they think of Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, that sort of fast food. I think
fast casuals.
Fast casual or quick serve, you can go into the Kava, Panera, Chipotle, hot table panini realm.
I saw a TikTok that says since someone started eating Kava, Chipotle just is not even like on the radar anymore. Like it doesn't even taste the same as it did before because Kava is so good.
I don't go out of my way to eat Chipotle.
I think Kava, you can just make so many different flavor combinations, and Chipotle, it doesn't all taste the same, but it has that same flavoring. So I think Kava, you can either make like a fresh like salad or like a rice bowl, or you can make I don't know. I just think there's more flavor profiles at Kava. But yeah, I wish there was like a Sweet Greens drive-through or like a Chopped drive-through. I know that
if you eat it chopped, you also get a finger. Did you see that story?
You said that to me. Yeah, maybe not Chopped.
I like Chopped. Chopped is my preferred salad place without the finger, please.
But like my go-to place is Chick-fil-A, and I get a grilled chicken sandwich.
Mm-hmm. And a side of homophobia and anti-Semitism with that.
As Bridget says, food and politics should not mix, and it was love at first bite for her. My friend wrote her college essay about how food and politics should not
mix.
Yeah. And I agree with that. And my dad, he does not because he refuses to eat there. I have a lot of friends who are associated with the LGBTQ and who eat at Chick-fil-A and don't let politics and food mix. And I think that's a really good thing because food is food and you need fuel. Food is fuel.
So I am of a different ilk. If I object to their politics that might have a direct impact on me or people in my family or associates of mine or what have you, they're dead to me. So I don't shop at Hobby Lobby. I don't eat at Chick-fil-A.
Woohoo!
With that last woohoo, thank you for joining us.
Woohoo!
This is Eric.
This is Tovah.
Saying
peace on you.
Thanks for listening to Two Peas, Same Pod, hosted by Eric and Tovah Weinstein. Please subscribe and join us next time as we continue to share humorous anecdotes, funny mishaps, and comical observations from our own lives.
Two Peas, Same Pod is produced by 1253 Studios, bringing sometimes humorous but always thought-provoking conversations to you through your favorite podcasting sites. Creative Content and Marketing Director, Tovah Weinstein. Executive producer and chief editor, Eric Weinstein. Music by MBB. Find his work on YouTube by searching for MBB Music or at mbbmusic.com. Special thanks for the introduction, outro, and trailer voiceover to Jordan Rich of CBS Boston Radio and Chart Productions, providing audio and voiceover recording and production, as well as podcast production and support. Visit Jordan at chartproductions.com. Funding for 2Ps Same Pod is provided by the Law Office of Eric Weinstein and listeners like you. Please consider subscribing and supporting this podcast. Until we meet again, this was 2Ps Same Pod, a 1253 Studios production.